This is meant to be the introduction, but I put the rods out and the rod ripped off. So the introduction for this session is actually me showing you the first pike I've caught. I don't think it's that big. Maybe a double. Just weighed it. 13 pounds. £13. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think it'd be that heavy. I thought it'd be at the very most 10. But it's not a bad start to the day. A nice double. There we go. 13 pounds. I'm going to release her now. Unzip this from the side. Not even sure you'll be able to see this, but first pike of the day.
Oh, hello. I see you are watching my video. Are you enjoying it? Have you thought about subscribing to the channel yet? Oh, you haven't? Well then that's okay. I'll wait while you subscribe and click the bell icon. There's a good chap. After all, we wouldn't want to have to send the boys around with the blow torches and the pliers now, would we? Would we?
That's another run. That's 2 pike. Although this one threw a hook at the net. They're smaller than the one before. But that's 2 pike in a session. I'm amazing. I've put out a big roach bream hybrid on one rod. And it's buoyant, so it's popping up. And on the other rod I have a salmon smolt. These are byproduct of the salmon farms. You can buy them from the salmon farms. You know, they're about say big, but they're all deformed, and you know, some of them are bent, some of them have no eyes, and some of them have no fins. You know, the fish farms can't really sell them, so they just end up getting, you know, binned, skipped, wasted. So I have a friend now that works on one on the Irish coast, so I got a bucket of them. So the pike seem to like them. They seem to be naturally a very oily bait, but it's all go. It is, what time is it? It's 10:30 in the morning, and so far 2 fish. Well, 1 fish to photograph and 1 that lost at the net, but when you're having sessions where you're blanking, I'm just happy to be catching fish. The duck men are out today. You can hear the shotguns getting lit off in the distance. It's a beautiful, quiet place, and every now and then you hear bang bang, bang bang. Dogs barking. The dogs obviously want to get into the water and get the duck. I think I might have a bacon sandwich. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Everybody loves bacon. And if you don't, something's wrong with you. I've been sharing some pictures of late on my Facebook page that's connected to this channel, and it's mostly about the silly people in the Great Western Lochs and the Republic of Ireland. You know, they're going balls out to culling pike because they believe that it's going to help their trout fishing. So I'm going to explain to you the trout angler mentality, especially Irish trout angler mentality. Irish trout anglers for the Great Lochs catch trout, smash trout on the skull, and then the trout's taken home. So that's one less trout in the system. Now, you're allowed a bag limit, and I can't remember exactly what the bag limit is for Lough Erne, but you're allowed to, or not Lough Erne, Lough Corrib, but you're allowed a bag limit. So you will have humans in boats taking their bag limit home. If they catch their bag limit, they will take their bag limit. The idea of catch and release is not something that's filtered through to them. So these guys, over the years, that noticed their trout stocks have kind of went down, and the pike, as always, gets the blame. The pike are blamed for eating all the trout. Now, they've been culling pike on Corrib for decades. I can remember being a teenager when the old Western Region Fisheries Board, WRFB, was setting nets to cull pike, and they were pulling out, pike that were, 20s and 30s and massive pike. There's one photograph in particular that sticks in my head of one of the WRFB employees with a gaff, that he's put the gaff through the stomach of the pike and ripped it open. And there he is proudly displaying this pike that's been eviscerated with a big slack-jawed smile on his face. This picture right here. Now, I've had to blur his face. In fact, no, I'm going to show you his face. Fuck it. This idiot deserves to be seen. He deserves to be made public. So I've not blurred his face. Anyway, that's the sort of mentality you're dealing with. Now, the WRFB was then scrapped, and all the regional fisheries boards were pushed into one big board called the Inland Fisheries Ireland. Now, Inland Fisheries Ireland runs all the public estate for the Republic of Ireland. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, Scobes, you're a guy in Northern Ireland, what the fuck do you care about fishing in the south? Well, to be honest, what the Inland Fisheries Ireland make as fisheries law, the idiots in charge in Northern Ireland just adopt off the bat. Don't scrutinise it, don't put it out for consultation, it's just adopted off the bat. So we end up with bad law in a foreign country forced upon us, and you just have to suck it and see, because you ain't getting it changed. Back to the trout anglers. I'm going to tell you a story of one of the last times I fished Lough Corrib. I was fishing Lough Corrib, and I was on one of my friend's boats. We were at the launch, we were waiting our turn to launch our boat, and this guy was taking his out the water. And at the bottom of his boat, he had a ferox trout, beautiful big thing. I estimated it was between 13 to 15 pounds, beautiful thing. And I asked the local, why did he kill it? He goes, it eats the trout. Okay. I said, surely something that big is going to be, it's not going to taste good. It's because it's going to be in the loch a long time. And his words to this day have always stuck with me. He went, well, it'll do the dogs. So this imbecile had killed a ferox trout. Now, a ferox trout it's basically a trout that switched and went cannibal. Instead of eating flies and bugs, it's somewhere along this lifeline of this trout, has decided to become cannibalistic and eat fish. And yes, it will eat trout, but it'll eat roach, it'll eat pike, it'll eat anything it could fit in its mouth, it will eat. And this idiot managed to catch it and kill it and feed it to his dog. I felt very sad about that. I don't know why. I mean, I felt personally like I'd lost something. You know, and it's this weird feeling. You're looking at people and they're answering you and they're talking to you and you're just there thinking, you know, this person is clearly either an idiot or they just don't care. And a lot of the times it is they just don't care and they are an idiot. So we have trout angling clubs on the Great Western Lochs, Corrib, Mask, and at the minute they're going hell for leather on catching and killing competitions. So they've been advertising on their Facebook page, you know, look at all this, very, very carefully done so they don't show their face, because they know that they're going to get a lot of hate from pike anglers and basically, you know, non-retards. So all the photographs they're showing, you know, with bags of dead fish on the ground and dead fish in the boats, and that's then, and according to these people, Inland Fisheries Ireland is letting them down by not doing more of this. You know, I'm a pike angler. If you take out the apex predator in a fishery, then there's nothing to control the smaller numbers of pike. Pike are very cannibalistic. So you take away the big pike and you end up with an explosion of small pike. But as well as on Corrib and Mask, there is an explosion of roach bream hybrids. Now the game anglers are crying about these and complaining about these roach bream hybrids. And the pike angling community is sitting back chuckling, going, well, if only there was a species of fish that could eat these roach bream hybrids. Oh, that's right, there is, and you've fucking called them all, you bunch of idiots. The Inland Fisheries Ireland's own science is showing that pike's main diet on Corrib and on Mask and places like that is roach. So pike's main diet is roach, not trout. But pike's an easy scapegoat. Trout numbers are falling, so blame the pike. They're not going to look into any depth into the destruction of spawning streams or pollution or, you know, overfishing by trout anglers. No, nothing at all of that. That wouldn't cause problems. It has to be the pike. So there we have it. My rant for the day, shall we say. I'm proud to support the Irish Pike Society. They do a lot of good work. I'm very proud to support them. They are the only conservation pike group in this country, in Northern Ireland and the South. And they do sterling work. And if you're a pike angler, you should support them as well. But back to the fishing. Did I mention I had a pike that lost it at the net? So that's 2 fish today. Well, one, can't count the one that really that fell off at the net. But it wasn't a big fish. So it's all action. The wind has changed. When I first arrived here, the wind was going that way. Now the wind is going that way. I'm thinking about a drifter float, but I know that way at about 50 yards there's a big sunken tree. And yeah, sod's law, you're going to drift right into it and snag up. So no, I'm not going to fish there, or fish with a drifter. I might break out the bait boat and put some baits at distance, just to see if we can get something from a bit of a range. But we're into fairly deep water casting distance, and we've had pike so far that have been, you know, relatively close in. So I'm just going to finish my coffee. I'm going to have a cigar, and let's see what else today brings, eh? One of my awesome subscribers on the channel seen me having some problems with the old the ridge monkey. Now, for whatever reason, the ridge monkey handles seem to be a lot heavier than the ridge monkey, so it's a tendency to kind of flip. Now, when it's half full of bacon or squared sausage, this is a bad idea, because then you lose your breakfast. I don't know how many times I've almost thrown this thing in the fishery. So anyway, he seen that I was having a little bit of fun with the old ridge monkey, and he had a bit of an idea. And he sent me this here. It's a little stand that you screw into the table. So I've screwed that in. It's a little bank stick, and it's got a little rest. So let's just take this off for a second. So now when you put the ridge monkey on, voila, it's not going to tip anywhere. It's supported. So Brian Eastwood, you rock. You definitely rock. Big thumbs up, Brian. Cheers, mate. Everybody loves a nice bacon sandwich. We have a malfunction. And what makes bacon sandwiches even better is some decent red sauce or brown sauce. I'm not a sauce Nazi. You can have any type of sauce you want. It's your tomato, it's your bacon sandwich. Me personally, I like a little bit of spice. So that's the sauce for today's bacon sandwich goodness. Kansas City barbecue. It's labelled as mild, so it's just got the right amount of kick just to wake you up in the morning. Hey, nearly, bastard. You were nearly seeing a grown man cry there because his bacon sandwich went running away. But that's enough bacon sandwich cooking. I get asked a fair bit what I run my Coleman stove on. I'm going to show you here right now. This is the stuff I use here. It's called Aspen 4. Basically, it's a super clean petrol. And when you buy them, they come with their own little spout. So when you go to fill up your day bottle, this is nice and full, so you go to fill this up, you can use the spout. It means you don't end up with this stuff in your hands, and the world is good. You get this stuff from the lawnmower shops, from shops that do with chainsaws. The guys that do logging use this stuff. It might not be the blue coloured one, it might be the yellow coloured one, because it's got some other additives through it for better for chainsaws. But even the guys that do like model planes and model cars and everything, remote control ones with petrol engines, this is the stuff they're using, because it's basically super clean. There's no crap in it. And when you're using it in your Coleman burns without a smell, and your Coleman burns super clean. The Coleman Sportster stove, if you look after them, they will last a fucking lifetime, guys. They will last an absolute lifetime. Same with 2-burner ones. All it takes is a service. If you can service them yourself, which has been taking out some of the parts, you can buy spare parts online. But the little plunger that you prime it with, eventually over time there's like a little rubber seal in it and it perishes, so you just replace it with a grommet. But I've had that one that I'm using today. I've had that since I was a teenager, and every year it gets stripped down, I service it myself because it's not difficult. And if it needs parts like the little rubber grommets and if it needs stuff, then I just buy it off eBay. You know, I think the last time I had to service it, the parts I needed from eBay. The kit cost like 12 quid, and that thing's ready to rock and roll for another year. I don't like gas in the winter because sometimes the gas will freeze. Now, I know there's guys out there going to go, oh well, gas is so much easier, it's this, that and the other, and blah blah blah, and if you get the right gas mix then it's really good. Balls, I don't really care. I don't like gas. I'll stick with petrol because it lights no matter what the temperature. So no offence to anyone that has gas and likes the gas. If you like the gas that works for you, then happy days. But this is what works for me, and this is the fuel that I run it on. So if anyone's out there and they're wanting this stuff, I leave a link to this site in the description below. But it's pretty good. It runs your stove, no smell. Obviously, don't use your stove inside your bivvy. If you zip up your bivvy, there's nowhere for the air to go. So when you're burning it, you're just going to load it with carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide will ruin your weekend. Trust me guys, don't use a fire inside your bivvy unless you've got your doors open, well ventilated. So that's what I use in my Sportster, my Coleman stove. That's a wee safety brief as well. Jesus, I spoil you, don't I? Take a quick cast with a nice western trout. See if there's anything in these. My reel is making a lot of noise today. See if there's anything sitting in these red lines. To get this reel fixed. That's sink rivet. I have to apologise to anyone that's watching this on with their earphones on. crazy loud, that reel. Needs a bit of, I don't know what it needs, but it needs something. There's a fish over there. Sometimes this happens with them. Let it sink a little bit. Maybe something with a spinning blade might be better. Like a big bucktail or something. Let's see if I can raise this one again. Nothing. Oh well. Lure fishing. I don't do a lot of lure fishing. I quite like lure fishing, I just don't get a chance to do an awful lot of it these days. I keep meaning to take myself out and do a day especially throwing lures, but something always seems to get stuck in the way. I get asked a fair bit about various equipment I use to make these vlogs. And while my kettle is boiling, I'm going to show you my vlogging equipment. Obviously you can't see the camera that you're being filmed on right now because you're being filmed on it. I'm using GoPro Hero 5s. I have a pair of them, too. One of them was a birthday present or a Christmas present from MSW, so that's pretty much what got the whole game started. My content on my channel before that was non-existent until about a year and a half ago, or a year ago when I got the GoPro. So I started putting more and more content out and the channel grew. In this bag here, this is a Shimano Tribal hard case. It's got all the bits that I need for the GoPro. It's got a light that I can slide the GoPro in here and put this on the tripod, so at lower light I can get, you know, better footage. I've got a whole ball of different little attachments and things in there. I've got things like this here, which is the waterproof camera case, where you would put the GoPro inside this and you can get some underwater footage. I haven't quite figured out how to use it yet. There must be a leak somewhere in it, because every time I use it the inside of it fills up with water, convincing me that it is not waterproof. But what do you expect for like £4 from China? This is the GoPro Hero 5 even. I have all my GoPros in a little like foam case to stop the wind, because the audio, as you know with the GoPro, is fairly crap. So your audio is fairly rubbish. The GoPro camera tends to pick up things that you don't want to record, like wind. So you buy these things here, which are foam cases, and they stop the noise. This is the size of your average GoPro. I think they're up to Hero 8 now, which is a Hero 5. And since the 5s came out, the GoPro have decided that you're no longer going to be able to plug a microphone jack in to make the audio better. You have to spend £50 and buy a specialist GoPro mic adapter. So well, I think they kind of rinse money out of you, which I think is unfair. I think for a company like GoPro to rig something so that you have to buy additional kit to make the audio better. I think that's grasping and tight of the highest order. So I've been forced to buy this microphone adapter. It hasn't arrived yet, but it cost me £50 from the GoPro shop. I'm also going to have to buy a case because the standard case doesn't hold the little adapter. So the case is like 20 quid from eBay. I was told don't go for the plasticky ones, try and get the aluminium ones, so I went for an aluminium one that was 20 quid on eBay. And then for the microphone itself, the other guys that I know that do this all say that Rode is the better one to go for because you can get a directional mic that's a lot better. So the Rode microphone with the directional mic and all the stuff that clips onto this, that's another 50 quid. Although at the minute I'm bidding for one on eBay that's second hand. I don't mind using second hand as long as it works. I really don't want to have to spend 120 quid on making a camera, usable so that the audio isn't complete dog turd. So there we have it. This is how I do my vlogs, mostly with the GoPro camera and my old trusty mobile phone. I also have a webcam on my home PC. It was this Logitech something or other, but it's a bit of a nightmare to use, if I'm honest. It seems to want to autofocus all the damn time, and you set the settings so it doesn't autofocus, and after about 20 minutes it just decides to autofocus anyway, so it'll pick something in the distance and focus in on it and blur everything out. The microphone in it as well is crap, so I had to buy a snowball microphone. I should really have just bought a Sony Handycam, if I'm honest with you. They just look so much more built for the job, except that they're not going to be waterproof. That's one thing the GoPro has going for it, that it is waterproof to 30 something meters. Unfortunately, when you buy the adapter to make the audio better, you lose the waterproof ability. So when eventually everything like this comes, the vlogs will definitely not be when it's pissing the rain. I'm not spending 100 odd quid to have it ruined in the rain. So there we have it. That's how I make my vlogs with the old GoPro, the phone and the webcam. Beautiful day. Rain's just coming in, mist just coming in. It's gone, I think it's gone 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's just gone 4 o'clock. So we won't have much light. Light will be disappearing about 10 past 5. So I'm going to take a slow pack up and then take a drive home. But it's been a good day. I mean, going out and catching fish is what it's all about. So to go out and catch a double while we're trying to get everything set up, it's a good start. I'll bring you guys back here. So I will definitely bring you back here. Also want to talk about, for a quick 2 seconds, men's mental health. We as men, we tend to bottle everything up. We don't like talking about it. It's drilled into us from a young age that boys don't cry, because if you cry, that makes you're a fanny, you're weak. But sometimes we all need a hand, we all need help. And sometimes saying somebody, how are you doing, arsehole, is exactly what they need. This is when I was in the forces, we didn't tend to show a lot of affection and love towards each other. Your greetings were more along the lines of verbal abuse. But that was a family, that was a brotherhood camaraderie. where when you would meet people that you know, and it would be, you would, hello dickhead, how are you? Some of my friends that I've served in the forces with have unfortunately ended up taking their own lives because they've struggled with their own mental health. Now, there's charities out there that are specially designed for veterans to talk to. We all know it's tough. We all signed up for this, so we don't expect sympathy. But at the same time, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to talk, and it's okay if you need to reach out, then reach out. I'm going to put a link to people that have helped me in the past in the description. It's a thing called Combat Stress. They've definitely helped me, and I would happily recommend them to any Armed Forces veteran out there that's perhaps struggling. We know we're coming up to Christmas, and Christmas can be a bastard if you're in a dark place. So if you want to reach out, then reach out. Don't sit there and think that just because you're in a dark place there ain't no light no more, and people will miss you. Trust me, you might think you're the most hated, selfish bastard in the world. People will miss you. So that's my bit. I struggle with my own mental health, and thankfully I have a strong support network around me that helps me. But for those that aren't as lucky, I'm going to put Combat Stress's number in the description.